a small town just outside Manchester, where the skies were often grey and the mornings smelled of rain, lived a man named Oliver Hayes. Oliver wasn't always struggling. 10 years ago, he had what most people would call a perfect life. A stable job in London, a cozy apartment, and dreams that stretched far beyond the city lights. But life, as it often does, had other plans. One by one, things slipped through his fingers. First, the company he worked for shut down unexpectedly. Then came months of job rejections. Savings disappeared faster than he imagined, and eventually, even his apartment was gone. At 35, Oliver found himself back in his hometown, with nothing but a worn-out suitcase and a heavy silence inside him. Every morning, Oliver would walk to the old train station, not to travel anywhere, just to sit. He would watch people rushing, businessmen, students, families, each with somewhere to go, each with purpose. And he would think, why does it feel like the train of my life just left without me? Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. People started to notice him, the quiet man on the bench. Some offered sympathy, others avoided eye contact. But Oliver, he stayed stuck. One cold morning, something unusual happened. A young girl, no older than 10, sat beside him. She looked at him curiously and asked, "Why do you come here every day if you never get on a train?" Oliver smiled faintly. "I guess I'm waiting for the right one." The girl tilted her head and said something he would never forget. What if the right train already came, and you were too scared to get on? Then she ran off to catch her train. Oliver sat there, stunned. For the first time in months, his thoughts were louder than his doubts. That night, Oliver couldn't sleep. The question replayed in his mind again and again. Was I waiting or avoiding? He realized something painful. He hadn't just lost his job, he had lost his courage. The next morning, Oliver didn't go to the station. Instead, he walked into a small local cafe and asked if they needed help. The owner hesitated. Oliver had no recent experience, no confidence, no spark. But something in his eyes said he was trying. He got the job. It wasn't glamorous. Washing dishes, cleaning tables, long hours. But for the first time in a long while, Oliver felt movement. Days turned into weeks again, but this time, things were different. Oliver started waking up earlier. He began learning, watching online videos about business, customer service, even coffee making. He didn't tell anyone. He just kept improving quietly. One day, the cafe owner fell sick and asked Oliver to manage the place for a few days. Oliver was terrified, but he said yes. Those few days changed everything. Oliver didn't just manage the cafe, he transformed it. He greeted every customer personally, remembered names, added small touches like handwritten notes on takeaway cups. Customers noticed. They came back, and then they brought friends. months, the small cafe became the busiest spot in town. A year later, Oliver stood in front of a small team. His team, because the cafe owner didn't just recover, he offered Oliver a partnership. Because you didn't just work here, he said. You believed in something when no one else did not, even yourself. On a quiet winter morning, Oliver returned to the train station. He sat on the same bench. This time, he wasn't lost. He wasn't waiting. He was remembering. And just like before, people rushed past him. But now, he smiled, because he finally understood something powerful. Life doesn't stop sending trains. We just stop noticing them when we lose hope. The lesson: Oliver never became a millionaire overnight. He didn't build an empire, but he built something far more important. A life he once thought was gone forever. Sometimes, the biggest opportunities don't look like success. They look like small beginnings, like a part-time job, a random conversation, a quiet chance to start again. You don't need a perfect moment. You just need the courage to move. Because the truth is, the train never stopped. You just have to get on.